As expected, we had a few spots in the north that failed to get above freezing during the course of today, and we do have another very cold night indeed building across particularly the central and northern areas of both UK and Ireland. High pressure is building in, and that is going to allow for maximum radiational cooling to take place during the overnight period tonight. Could see the fifth night this month below -5 here at Mark Vogan Weather HQ. So the temperature's already down to -1.3 at the time of recording. But anyway, a very warm welcome to the Wednesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. According to the Highland Weather Network, we had a couple of spots below -10 last night, or bang on -10, and we would expect to see another very cold night indeed. It looks as if this spot here near Duffel, just the northwest of Duffel, northeast of Carbridge, was down to -10 during the overnight period. Obviously, some of these sites have are in cold hollows, so therefore the cold air collects as the air runs down the gentle slopes of some of these highland glens, and the coldest air collects at the bottom of these glens. Hence why we've got some particularly cold numbers when you've got perhaps widespread -5, -6s. You do tend to find that some of these spots are a good 4 or 5 Celsius below what the surrounding area may be. These are the area temperatures this morning. So we did have -3s, some -4s across parts of Ireland, Northern Ireland. We had a couple of spots close to -4 in the north of England. Milder conditions across the south. We did have an area of low pressure bringing some fairly heavy rainfall across the far south of the UK during the overnight period. Coldest numbers were up across the north, -7 at Loch Liscarnock. We had a -5.3 at Aviemore, -6 up in Annickmore. I had -8, I think, at Cairngorm. Is that Cairngorm here? Yeah, -8.6 recorded here, -4.5. Here at Mark Vogan Weather HQ, it dropped to -5.2. So that was the fourth night of -5 or lower this month so far. So I would expect to see potentially close to that during the course of this evening. Looking at rainfall totals, obviously it was a soggy night across the far south, and according to Meteo anyway, we had a few spots in and around an inch. According to this information anyway, drier obviously the further north you went across the majority of the UK and Ireland. Still running below average in terms of rainfall for the month, despite the fact that we've had wetter conditions in recent days. This is the latest visible satellite imagery as the sun goes down. We've got large scale clear skies across the bulk of England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, the Republic of Ireland as well. Hence why we're going to see the temperatures dropping like a stone. You see this massive cloud here to the west. That is the system that is going to be moving in over the next 24 hours or so. And what this is going to do is it's going to not only increase cloud cover from the west, but it's also going to generate a southerly wind. And with that southerly wind comes milder temperatures. So while we struggle to get above freezing in quite a few spots across the north during the course of today, another bitterly cold night to come, temperatures are going to be slowly on the rise over the next day or so. So you can see here the extreme temperature at the time of recording, according to the Highland Weather Network. You can see here that this is how it's looking with regards to the lowest value. So we've already got a -5 close to the west coast, as you can see here. Slightly milder further south here, not that far away from each other. You've got a +8 versus a -5, which is quite interesting. So that -5 looks to be in a mountainous area. So it's Belgrade at the moment. I don't know what the elevation of that is, but I would imagine that's a relatively high elevation, or it could be tucked away within a glen. So I'm sure Lee would be able to enlighten me with that. Looking at the radar, you can see here a few showers over the North Sea, just clipping the far east of Lothian. We've got a few spots over Yorkshire, seeing some rainfall. And then that feature that they brought the heavy rain during the course of the overnight period, that is now pulling into the near continent with wind and rain. So there's that area of high pressure building in, as can be seen here. That is going to create a perfect environment for maximum radiational cooling during the overnight period tonight. -10, very, very possible in a couple of spots during the course of this evening. You can see here that if you put on the 850 temperatures, we've got a 30. This is a reasonably chilly high pressure at that. We've got the -5 at 850 with the chilly start of the night already. So therefore, you've got the perfect environment for a long night of cooling to come. According to the Met Office model, we've got a -9 close to Loch Liskarnock expected tonight. We do have a -6, -7 possible across parts of the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Northern England, and Wales. We may see temperatures close to -5 or -6 in a few spots. A little bit less cold further east, if you notice, over England. Looking at as we go forward, I want to show you here. This is the last 5 days. Sorry, I beg your pardon. This is the last 5 days according to the CDAS data. So this is the 2-meter temperature anomaly. It's milder than average across Western mainland Europe. Southern UK, the bulk of England and Wales has actually been slightly warmer than average across the past 5 days. Cooler than average across Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Scotland, as you can see here, and also down towards the Balkans and Greece, Turkey. Very cold conditions here, record-breaking cold, while we've had record-breaking warmth on the western side of the mainland. So big extremes over the continent at the moment between record warmth temperatures during the overnight period, 26, 27 Celsius, Spain and France. Absolutely crazy stuff for the time of the year, while we've had the extreme blizzard conditions across parts of Turkey at the same time. So it really is quite a remarkable variation in extremes across the continent at the moment. Looking at the month to date, we've really taken a massive chunk out of that warm anomaly. Remember, the first 11 days of the month for the UK was warmest and driest on record for that period during the month of November. Now we're close to average across the majority of the UK. Still slightly warmer than average across Ireland, if you notice. And then Central and Eastern Europe here is colder than average. Basically, it's warmer than average north and south with a slice of cold in between, as can be seen here. Looking at the upcoming 7-day period of the ECMWF, we are going to start to see a slightly milder setup taking place. It's a bit of a back and forth after the Arctic air of last week. We've got a cold high in place at the moment, so cold days, very cold nights, bitterly cold if you notice across Iceland over the next 7 days. But generally speaking, we're seeing this kind of wax and wane between mild and cold. But generally speaking, the majority of mainland Europe, with the exceptions of Turkey, which is in the freezer over the next 7 days, we've got generally milder conditions. Still slightly colder than average across central areas of Scotland, or the Highland region anyway. The bulk of the UK and Ireland is warmer than average. And if we play through this loop here, you can see that we do, according to the ECM extended, you can see the slightly warmer anomalies showing up here. As we leave the month of November, begin the month of December, we've got something slightly milder. West to southwesterly winds is going to be dominant. Now you play through the loop here all the way out to the middle of the month. Again, no great shakes in terms of anything cold. That is expected here on the channel. Both the December outlook that is coming up and also the winter forecast that was released back at the weekend suggests that we have got a milder potential for storminess during the first half of December. Something colder during the second half of December is expected, according to the research that I've done and other parameters as well. But you notice here that the model, ECM, between the 11th and the 18th, we're starting to see something colder showing up here. So, and the reasons for that is fairly straightforward. The Mandrelian oscillation is rotating through phases 3. That is why I expect the potential for some deep lows, possible named storms over the next 10 days or so here, based on the fact that the last time we've seen that phase 3 MJO, we've had named storms. Lillian back at the end of August. We had Ashley back, I believe it was the end of October. It was due to that rotation within phases 3, which is the East Indian Ocean. It's moving into phases 4 and 5 in conjunction with the stratosphere. I do expect a fairly mild first half to December. We may see some back and forths in terms of cold versus mild. So it might not be a clear-cut just blowtorch for the month of the first half of December. It's not going to be quite straightforward as that. But certainly, nonetheless, if you look at the North Atlantic Oscillation, it is going back positive once again. We also have a bitterly cold Eastern North America. That is going to produce probably the coldest Thanksgiving since 2010. But that cold moving eastwards is likely to enhance our storminess, the jet stream strength over the Atlantic. And that is why I think everything is coming together for something a little bit more 2013-14-esque. Not quite a winter expected to be as stormy as that, but this kind of setup at the moment with the cold driving south over eastern North America, strengthening jet, phase 3 of the MJO, the orientation of the stratospheric polar vortex, which is allowing Arctic air across the top and into North America, has quite a 2013-14 look about it anyway. And with the MJO in the position it is, the NAO is expected to go positive, still slightly negative at the moment, but it is expected to go positive. Pretty much all models agree, all members of the model agree that it's going to go positive. Now, interestingly enough, the Arctic Oscillation is not doing so. It's actually going negative, and the reasons for that is because of that cross-polar flow. We've got stronger heights over the Arctic region, despite the fact that we're weakening the Greenland high. Looking forward here, so this is the 850s of the GFS model. Play through the next several days, and you can see that warmer air getting lifted northwards here in association with that low to the west over the Atlantic. Continue to play through all the way into the early portions of next week. This is what I'm talking about here. So as we open the month of December, according to the GFS, we've got another shot of colder air coming southwards here. So like I said, it's not a completely clear-cut signal, but as areas of low pressure move east, behind them there's cold air coming south, but ahead of them there's mild air moving north. So we've got this up and down regime here. The question mark is going to be how deep are these lows going to be as they move through. But you can see the kind of ups and downs in terms of the temperature. But notice here as we move towards the next weekend, long way out, Fantasyland, I get that. But we're kind of holding in on that colder air for a little bit longer. So it's going to be interesting. Look at how cold this air mass is coming in over Scandinavia, far eastern areas of Europe. We may see something higher pressure dominating towards the north. That's a bit of an easterly flow. So that's quite an interesting look, isn't it? According to the GFS anyway. So have I covered everything? Let's play through. See that feature moving into the near continent. High pressure for a period of time holds in, producing the cold tonight. Then we've got southerly flow. We've got weather systems moving into the northwest of the UK, bringing wind and rain, largely high and dry across the bulk of England and Wales. Then we've got a few areas of low pressure that's going to be flirting with this. Then higher pressure tries to lift into the north. We've got another couple of features moving in as well. But the depth of these lows is going to be interesting. How strong does that jet become over the open Atlantic is going to be an interesting question. But you can see here by the time we reach the end of next week, we've got a bit more of a firmer Atlantic wave train now starting to show its hand. A 969 millibar low to the north, another system slightly further south crossing the southern UK. So this is very much a phase 3, 4 and 5 of the MJO showing up based on the fact that we're going to see bitterly cold conditions developing across eastern North America. Speaking of eastern North America, let's have a look at North America over the next 7 days, and you can see here that we've got this bitterly cold conditions dropping into Alaska, northwestern North America, right down the spine of North America into the central and eastern United States. Warmer than average across Hudson Bay, Ontario, Quebec, Labrador, Newfoundland. We've got warmer than average conditions here. But if we look specifically at the United States, you can see here that we've got some pretty cold conditions going to be spreading in. Look at this here. Very, very cold outbreak showing up 30th of November through the 7th of December. So we've got a cold end of November, beginning of December for eastern North America. Do we have a stormy period for the same time frame? UK, Ireland, northwestern Europe? That's going to be the question. So I think I've spoken long enough. I think I've covered everything that I needed to cover, and I'll be back again tomorrow with more. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye for now.